The art of detachment and the quiet power of attraction. There is a subtle art that very few people master, yet it influences every form of human connection, every relationship, and every social dynamic. It is the art of detachment, the capacity to remain centered within yourself, even while walking through the noise, expectations, and emotional demands of others. Detachment does not mean indifference, coldness, or emotional distance. In fact, healthy detachment is the opposite. It is emotional clarity. It is inner stability. It is a way of showing up in the world without being ruled by the reactions, judgments, or desires of other people. And when you understand this principle deeply, when you embody it, you unlock something powerful, the natural ability to attract people without chasing them. You no longer pull people through force or persuasion. Instead, you become a steady point in a chaotic world, and others feel drawn to that stability. Today, I will explore this art in depth, how it works, why it works, and how to practice it in your daily life. This is not simply advice. It is a philosophy, a psychological strategy, and a powerful way of shaping your presence in the world. 1. Understanding detachment, reclaiming your inner space. One of the greatest misunderstandings about detachment is that it is an act of withdrawal. Many imagine a detached person as someone who isolates themselves, avoids relationships, or refuses to care. But true detachment is something far more refined. It is the ability to hold space between stimulus and response, between what others say and how you choose to feel, between other people's behavior and your internal state. Healthy detachment starts with a simple recognition. You cannot control other people. You cannot control their opinions. You cannot control their actions. You cannot control their emotional reactions, their impulsiveness, or their expectations. And yet, most people spend an enormous amount of energy trying to do exactly that. Trying to be liked, trying to be accepted, trying to be chosen. They adjust themselves endlessly to gain approval. They reshape their values to avoid conflict. They abandon their own needs to maintain harmony. This creates a deep dependency, an emotional reliance on the validation of others. The art of detachment frees you from this. It teaches you to remain grounded in who you are. It reminds you that another person's mood is not your responsibility. Their acceptance is not your identity. Their approval is not your reward. Detachment gives you the emotional space to think clearly, choose consciously, and live authentically. 2. The paradox of human attraction. Here is the paradox. The more attached you are to controlling how others see you, the less attractive you become. And the more you release that need, the more you are genuinely comfortable within yourself, the more naturally magnetic you become. Why does this happen? Human beings are drawn to confidence, but not the loud kind, not the kind that tries to dominate the room. We are drawn to the quiet confidence of someone who does not need external validation to feel whole. Detachment is the root of this quiet confidence. When you are detached, you communicate calmly without over-explaining. You express your thoughts without fear of judgment. You set boundaries without guilt. You are present but not needy. You are caring but not dependent. You are interested but not desperate. This combination, clarity, calmness, and independence, creates a powerful gravitational pull. People sense that you are not trying to impress them. People feel that you are not seeking approval. People realize that you do not need them. And ironically, this makes them want to be closer to you. Because in a world of emotional chaos and insecurity, a centered person becomes a refuge. 3. The psychology behind being magnetic. Psychologists often explain this dynamic through two concepts: self-regulation and perceived value. Self-regulation is your ability to maintain emotional balance. When someone insults you, you don't explode. When someone rejects you, you don't collapse. When someone gives you attention, you don't cling to it as if it were oxygen. Instead, you remain grounded. You feel the emotion, but you choose your response. This is incredibly attractive because it signals strength, maturity, and emotional independence. The second concept, perceived value, is even more important. Humans subconsciously assign value to anything that is scarce, self-contained, or not easily obtained. This does not mean you become unavailable or distant. It simply means you hold your own identity without giving it away cheaply. A person who is too available communicates dependency. A person who is too eager communicates insecurity. A person who fears losing others communicates low value. But a person who is self-contained, someone who does not need to chase, persuade, or beg, communicates high value. People respect what does not seek to be validated. People desire what does not try to be desired. This is not manipulation. This is psychology. 4. The practice of detachment. How to apply it daily. Detachment is not a theory, it is a skill, and like any skill, it must be practiced. Here are concrete steps to build this inner strength and presence. A. Stop reacting emotionally to everything. When someone criticizes you, pause. When someone tries to provoke you, pause. When someone pulls away emotionally, pause. The pause is power. It is the moment where control returns to you. B. Let people have their opinions. You will never convince everyone to understand you. You do not need to. Others' opinions belong to them, not to you. Release the need to defend yourself constantly. C. Say less, observe more. People reveal more through their behavior than through their words. Detachment teaches you to observe the true reality instead of projecting your hopes, fears, or expectations onto people. When you observe, you understand. When you understand, you stop chasing illusions. D. Protect your time and energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every conversation needs a response. Not every connection deserves your emotional investment. Scarcity creates value, and value attracts naturally. E. Master the art of walking away. The ability to leave is one of the strongest forms of personal power. When you can walk away from what disrespects you, you communicate that your standards are non-negotiable. People respect those who respect themselves. 5. How detachment creates attraction without effort. Once you practice emotional detachment regularly, something remarkable happens. The roles reverse. Instead of you moving toward others, others begin to move toward you. Your presence becomes balanced. Your communication becomes intentional. Your silence becomes meaningful. Your energy becomes centered and strong. And because most people are hungry for emotional stability, something they do not find in themselves, they gravitate toward those who embody it. The magnetism you create is not the result of persuasion, charm, or performance. It is the result of inner peace. Your sense of self becomes the quiet signal that draws others in. You attract people by being whole, not by seeking completion through them. 6. Becoming the person others want to approach.
The more detached you are from external validation, the more authentic you become. And authenticity is rare. People feel it, people trust it, people admire it. You become someone who speaks with clarity because you are not afraid of being misunderstood. Listens fully because you are not eager to defend yourself. Connects deeply because you are not trying to impress. Walks with calmness because you are not chasing acceptance. Lives with purpose because you are no longer shaped by fear. This is the foundation of all attraction: romantic attraction, social attraction, professional attraction. 7. Living from a place of inner strength. Ultimately, the art of detachment is the art of returning home to yourself. It is the quiet declaration that your worth comes from within, not from the shifting emotions of others. When you master this art, you become harder to manipulate. You become stronger in conflict. You become calmer under pressure. You become more charismatic. You become more respected. And above all, you become the type of person people naturally move toward without you ever needing to chase. That is the true force of attraction. Not pressure, not persuasion, not performance, but presence.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more English learning tips and daily practice.